Whoops.
Hello.
Forgot to put us on.
Yes. Oops. Hello, Gore Horrors and fellow Deadites. I'm Brendan.
I'm Sam.
And welcome to Our Life in Horror.
And we're doing a review.
We're doing another review. We're stacked up for a while with lives.
Yes, we are. We've got a big schedule. We're already almost booked up for February, which is wild. This feels like Halloween all over
I was about to
again.
say, it's October all over again almost.
Yes. So we are going to be reviewing Donnie Darko.
The theatrical cut.
Yes.
Just so everybody knows, this is the theatrical cut. Yes. I actually don't own the director's cut, so I've never seen it.
This was my first time watch of the movie in general.
Yep.
But we are going to bring on our guests, Anthony and Allie, another horror couple or movie couple. Hey, guys.
Hey, what's going on?
Thanks for being here.
Hey, thank you for having us.
So I have a few questions for you guys before we get started, because I love collabing with other couples in the community. So how did you guys meet?
Ooh.
You do a better job of telling the story. I know I had you do it last time, but you do it quickly. I don't turn on.
The quick version. So basically I started YouTube. I started my own channel, and I started going on his live streams, and that's kind of where I got my feet wet doing the YouTube thing and everything. And Pop's Movie Dungeon had me on a live stream for top 5 favorite movie villains. So I was on that stream, and then Allie happened to be there as well. And she really liked my picks, my horror picks, and she ended up following me on YouTube, and then she started commenting on a couple of my videos, and then we started chit-chatting back and forth, like very long messages and everything, which is, unusual. But we had so much in common, and we just instantly kicked it off. So it was kind of like talking to a long-lost friend or something, like reuniting again or something. And then I found her on Instagram, and I commented on a couple of her cute cat pics. She has photos of her cats on her Instagram and stuff. And I was like, oh, they're cute, And then she DM'd me, and then we started talking on Instagram, and it just literally, we haven't stopped talking to each other a single day since YouTube. We've talked to each other every single day since YouTube. And that's the story. And then we talked on Instagram, and then eventually exchanged phone numbers, and then started FaceTiming. And then I flew her out here to Michigan because she lives in Tennessee. So I flew her out here, and and it's been a great ride ever since. It's been unbelievable. So.
And the first trip was October of 2023, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was cool too. Yeah, the first trip, she actually came out, it was right before Halloween. She left the day before Halloween. So it was cool because we got to hang out in October and watch a bunch of scary movies and show each other our favorite movies. So it was a blast. And then she's come out back and forth a lot since then too. So, but we're working on hopefully getting her moved out here eventually, and then we don't got to worry about constantly flying back and forth.
Yeah, that would be tough. That's long distance.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's awesome that you guys met in the community. So you guys were both movie fans or horror fans before you even met. I see you have a lot of physical media behind you, Allie. Do you guys both do a lot of collecting then? You guys were both collectors before you met as well?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. I love that. I love that Allie is a collector too, because you're the collector in the relationship. I buy a couple $1 or $2 DVDs, B-movie horror movies that I see that are probably really trash, but I like them.
You bought a fucking handful today. We went antiquing today, so that's where Sam shines.
Yeah, but he's the collector, I would say.
Yeah.
He takes credit for everything behind us.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, me too. I got a question. Tough relationship question, probably. So you guys are
hitting us with the hard balls.
Yeah, this is.
I think I know where this is going.
So you guys are gonna move in, and you guys are gonna have to figure out your collection situation. Are you guys going to keep it separate, or are you guys going to get rid of the doubles? Or
you're going to have doubles of movies?
That's
a question.
You want to take this one, Allie?
Sure. So we kind of went back and forth on it. Majority of my collection is DVDs still, because I've started collecting like a long time ago, and I've been slowly upgrading like my favorites to Blu-ray, but I don't need to have like everything upgraded. Yeah. So long story short, we are going to combine them. Yeah. Get rid of duplicates, hopefully give them to like other collectors that need them or want them, like friends.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the plan. Yeah, because we have a lot of duplicates, because we both have quite a few duplicates of Scream Factory titles, duplicates of Arrow Video titles. We've definitely got what were you gonna say?
A lot of steelbooks too.
Oh yeah, steelbooks that are duplicates. So yeah, we're gonna talk to our buddies and see if people would like some of these, and we'll just send them out to them, and because we're cool just giving them away. We're not big like eBay sellers or anything like that. So we just we like spreading the word of physical media and, giving back to people too, give them to people that will actually watch them and enjoy them. And, so
I love that.
That'll be fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Anthony, you have a YouTube channel. We have it in the description, the link, as well as our buddy here, Mod Ryan, has your link in the chat. So everyone
thanks,
be
Ryan.
sure to go subscribe to Anthony. Do you want to talk about your channel and what you do on it? And then we'll go over to Allie and you can talk about your Instagram page and what your handle is, because I do not have that. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no. So on my channel, it's pretty casual. I took a break for a little while because how it gets. Life just gets really busy and stuff. You just don't always have time for YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube, but I don't always feel like making videos. But recently, over the last couple of weeks, I made a top 5 favorite films of 2024 and a top 5 least favorite films of 2024. So that was actually a lot of fun, because I saw quite a few movies during 2024. I made it a point to get out to the theater and try to watch as many as possible, especially horror movies and like thrillers, especially also like the lower budget ones, the more indie films and stuff. I wanted to try to catch those. So that was fun. And besides that, I do a lot of collectible videos. As you can see, I've got all these collectibles back here, a lot of Spirit Halloween and NECA figures and all that good stuff. So I've got a bunch of videos showing those off as well. And also my collection, I've got like a Scream Factory haul, or a Scream Factory collection video where I show all my Scream Factories. Same thing with Lionsgate and Paramount and my superhero movies and all that stuff. So yeah.
Awesome. Allie, do you think when you move in with Anthony, are you gonna appear on the channel more, or you don't really like YouTubing?
I wouldn't be opposed to being on there sometimes, but I also don't want to like take over or like think I like how it is and it represents fair. So.
I think it would actually be a lot of fun, because I used to do review videos on my channel, but it's tough because you're competing with Jeremy Johns and Chris Stuckman and all these heavy hitters. There's so many people that do movie review videos. But I thought it would be fun for when we're living together to actually, when we go, because we'll go to the movies all the time, I'm sure. So it'd be fun to, like, as soon as we get back, make a quick little review video and then put it out there, because it's way more fun talking about movies with someone than just saying like my own thoughts on it. I think it's more fun like if we get to discuss it for a little bit and then upload that video. Yeah, so I thought that'd be cool.
I agree. I hate recording by myself. I feel like I'm just staring at the camera like a robot. But when I'm with him, it's just natural. Like we just bounce off each other, right?
Yeah.
So I get that.
Well,
Allie, where can people find you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say it's also good, too, because, like, let's say you love the movie, but Brendan hates it. So it's kind of fun because you guys get your thoughts bouncing off of each other, and, like, I think that makes for more fun content when, like, one of you guys hates it and the other one loves it, and then you can kind of go back and forth. Makes it a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool,
We
too.
go through it quite a bit.
We
Yeah.
haven't in a while, I feel like.
Yeah, I guess so.
We'll see.
The
Yeah.
I'm
classics.
sorry,
we go
Ellie.
through
Now,
it.
where can people find you on Instagram?
Yeah.
Well, it's just under my name, Ali Damati, and also on Letterboxd. Very active on both of those. Very obsessed with Letterboxd, so I'm always watching something on there. So
And she
Awesome.
got me hooked on Letterboxd too. That's the only reason I started doing it, is because she
It's a
got me on
game
there.
changer.
So
when you watch as much as we do, it's so helpful to keep up with everything and to like jot your thoughts down and just know what you've seen, what you thought of it. So it's great.
Yeah, I love seeing what my friends are watching too and comparing our ratings and stuff. And
Yeah.
sometimes a movie pops up that my friend has watched and I'm like, I haven't even heard of that. And then you go and watch it yourself. And yeah, I like Letterboxd too.
I just log. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't write blurbs.
I don't write blurbs either. I just rate, but like at least then I can see how many I've done for the year too, which is kind of fun. So what made you guys pick Donnie Darko?
Yeah, what an interesting choice.
Yeah, you guys gave us a little list and we decided this one. So what made you put it on the list?
All him. I mean, I'm a fan of the movie too, but he was the one that kind of thought of it, and I was down.
Well, I thought it would be fun to kind of talk about this one because I feel like, it's a complex movie. There's a lot of pieces going on, there's just a lot going on with the story and the characters and kind of like underlying themes and like what does it all mean and all that stuff. So I thought it would be fun to talk about it just because there's so much going on. So there's just a ton to talk about with all the characters and just the story in general. Plus it's got the time travel aspect and mental health aspect. So there's a lot going on in this movie. So that's why it was one of, I think it was one of 3 that I sent you, but the other 2 you had both already seen. So this one was the winner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we start, I'm just going to say what's up to the chat. I'm a little behind, so it might take me a minute, but and then we'll get into it. Hello, Ryan, again. Thank you for putting the link in the chat. Appreciate you. We've got Un here. Welcome back. Holland Oates is here. Hello.
What's up, Holland? What's up, buddy?
Thanks for joining us. Corey's here.
Corey.
Corey's been sharing this live too.
The
beard. We love Corey. We got Jamie. Hey, Jamie.
Hey, you get it hard as well.
Andrew, you should check out the director's cut. It does make the movie into more of a clear-cut sci-fi, though. Okay.
Yep. I've seen the director's cut, and then Allie owns it as well.
Cool.
And she's seen it, but it was a long time ago, right, Allie? Yeah,
It was a long time ago.
With this being my first time watching this movie too, I have a lot of questions.
Oh, there you
We'll
go.
get to those.
Yeah.
Gio's here. Hey,
Hey,
Gio.
Gio.
We just appeared on his channel yesterday, the Movie Canon for Horror Movie Talk, and Brendan was the winner of the Total Recall horror game.
Yeah.
Ooh, congratulations.
Thank you.
I came in second.
Yes, you did.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
I'm shocked,
Yeah,
actually.
we didn't fight afterwards.
No, we didn't. Who else is here? I'm going down. We've got Texas is here.
Hey, Russell. What's going on, bud?
Russell, okay,
Russell?
yeah, first
He's
time on
a
our
big
channel.
fan of this film as well.
Oh, cool.
So
Okay.
he might be able to chime in and kind of help us figure it out too. Because even though I've seen the movie a million times, or quite a few times, I should say, but there's a lot of stuff in there. So
There is a lot
a
going
lot,
on.
a lot of moving pieces in there. Yeah.
Bo's here, Critic After Dark.
Hey,
All
Bo.
your weekends were pleasant. Thanks for being here. Sharing the movie love. Oh, we got Allie and Anthony are adorable.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you.
Ryan says, I haven't watched Donnie Darko in years. Yeah, when's the last time you watched it?
I haven't watched it since I was living in Peterborough, so that was 2012.
Oh, wow. Okay. I watch it every October. It's the perfect way to start spooky season.
Wow,
Yeah.
I love that. It's so cool. So Jamie will be able to chime in too because she loves the films. That's cool.
Yeah.
So she might have some ideas going too.
Un, I am so sorry.
Oh, Un, we forgot.
We had a diaper party and a housewarming party this weekend. We had 3 live streams. We did not get to watching the shorts. I apologize again.
Yes.
Write it down again so that I'm reminded. I feel so bad. They wanted us to watch Sister Abby on YouTube. It's a short, and I have.
Okay.
We haven't seen it yet, but I feel bad because we've been asked to watch it twice now. But we have had such a busy weekend.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Don't
You get
hate
busy
us.
with real life. You get busy with real life, and you get busy with YouTube, and there's so many things to watch, and so many creators, and this and that. So it's hard to keep up with everybody.
It is.
It is.
Oh, Bitter Wolf is here. Hope everyone
Hey.
had a great weekend. I'm watching The First Omen right now, number 32 on my Horror 365 challenge.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's a cool name too. The Bitter Wolf.
Yeah,
Horror
he
and
does some
hijinks.
great interviews. We were
Yes, it is. The horror, the mosaic.
Yeah.
Mosaic.
Yeah, we were just on his channel actually Friday night talking about an interesting topic that he's going to release soon for horror.
Yeah.
So check out his channel.
Nice.
When you do try to watch the director's cut, it's way better. Oh, that was to Ryan. Okay.
Interesting.
This is a question for Allie. Is Anthony a New Kids on the Block fan like us?
Not exactly, but he doesn't dislike them.
Right.
Do you like
That's
Don?
the thing.
But
Yeah,
Mostly
I do like Donnie Wahlberg because just because of his like movies and his show, Blue Bloods and stuff. But I mean, Allie's introduced me to some of their music, and I liked what I heard so far.
some jams.
Yeah,
You'll
they do have
hear
some good
them.
jams, some really good music videos too.
Yes, very fun music videos.
Hey, Jean, thanks for
Hey,
being with
Jean.
us.
Gene,
Oh, and Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. Follow Allie on Instagram. There's the link right there.
gotcha.
Appreciate you. Jamie can help with Donnie Darko questions as well.
And here,
Big Rod's here. Hey, Big Rod.
Big Rod.
What's up, Big Rod?
Big Rod is starting his channel too. He's got his new profile picture up there, so everyone go support him.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
Yes, apologies, and we will definitely get to it.
Yes, we'll make a point.
Dark Room Reviews. Hey, Joel. Saying
What's
hey
up,
to
Joel?
Allie there. Bitter Bugs is scheduled for tomorrow. Yay.
Oh,
That's
nice.
the episode we just did. We're talking about bug horror movies.
Yes,
Ooh,
So that's coming
fun.
out.
it's like 2 hours long.
oh my god.
Yeah, it was
It was
fun.
a long recording. It was like 2.5 hours.
I know. And usually I burn out at the 2 hour mark. And by the time we finished, I was like, that felt like it was 1 hour. Like
Yeah.
it flew by.
Have you ever seen Starship Troopers?
Oh, I brought it up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
I love
great bug
Starship.
movie.
I love it.
Hey, Jose. Thanks for joining us.
Jose.
And I think I have. Oh, and Miki.
Hey, Miki.
Mickey.
I love bugs. I don't, but bug movies are all right.
I went through some like research for that episode.
Yes, you did. You
I
watched
watched-
a lot of
I
movies.
did.
All right. It's Donnie Darko time. I'm going to get into the cast and stuff, and then we'll say our spoiler-free thoughts, and then we will get into it. Let me pull up my info here. So Donnie Darko came out October 26, 2001. I've got dog hair flying in front of my face. During the presidential election of 1988, a teenager named Donnie Darko sleepwalks out of his house one night and sees a giant demonic-looking rabbit named Frank who tells him the world will end in 28 days. When Donnie returns home, he finds that a jet engine has crashed into his bedroom. Is Donnie living in a parallel universe? Is he suffering from mental illness, or will the world really end? This has a massive cast. I had so many surprises watching this. I know you told me some of them, but like I even saw Ashley Tisdale in there. But we've got Jake.
Crazy
What?
Steve from Drake and Josh. If you watched that show, Crazy Steve, Jerry Trainer was in there when he was young.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
I
He's in the
don't think I
same
watched.
scene. He asked
okay.
one of the questions. I don't remember which one it was, but it wasn't like the young kid. It was like the older guy that asked the question.
Okay. I missed that one.
Oh, okay.
But we've got Jake Gyllenhaal, Drew Barrymore, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Seth Rogen, Jenna Malone, Patrick Swayze, Mary McDonnell, Noah Weil, I'm just gonna leave it there.
It's a huge cast. Yeah,
it is a lot of people. And this was directed by Richard Kelly. It has an 8 out of 10 on IMDb and 87% on Rotten Tomatoes. Budget was $4.5 million. So, spoiler-free thoughts. What do we think of this film?
Yeah, no, I mean, the first time I watched this was actually in high school over at my friend Brad's house for it was like a party he was having, so it was like me and Brad and then like a few of our other friends, and he had picked out this movie, Donnie Darko, to watch, and it was on a big screen TV, all the lights were out, and it was, as far as I remember, it was my first time watching kind of like an art house style film like that, so it made me feel like weird afterwards, you know what I mean? Because it's like I had never seen anything like that before, just the way it was filmed and the beautiful score, and I don't know, it just had this way about it, kind of like creeping under your skin, and it sat with me for like, weeks afterwards, and I've loved it, ever since, basically. That my overall thoughts on it, I just think it's great because it's one of those movies that, it's ambiguous, so you can take it a few different ways, and I like films like that where you can kind of figure it out in your own mind, and then maybe a year later you go back to it and you're like, oh no, that wasn't right at all, now I feel this way about it, so I like movies like that leave you like thinking afterwards, like, what was that really about?
Yeah.
So yeah, how about you, Allie?
For me, I think I saw this for the first time back in 2017, around that time, and I remember enjoying it. I bought it on DVD over your director's cut, because that was the first way that I saw it, was the director's cut. And then sadly I had not rewatched it since then, so this was a much needed revisit, and then this time I got to watch the theatrical cut, so it was really cool seeing it again through new eyes, even though I remembered some of it. But yeah, I've always thought it was really cool and unique, and yeah, I like it. I think it's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I watched it back in 2012. I think I was looking up weirdest movies to watch or something like that, like weirdest scary movies, and this one was definitely the top of the list. Yeah. So I think I watched it like a handful of times because I just could not get a grasp on what the fuck was happening. So I know since then I've watched some like video essays on it, because there's lots of video essays on this movie. Like, this movie is like a cult hit. So I understand the movie now more, and rewatching it today, I'm like, okay, I get it. I don't totally get it, but like I understand more so what's going on than I ever have before. So I definitely have a more love and appreciation for this movie than I ever have.
Okay. So I watched it for the first time this morning.
I know. I'm so excited to hear these thoughts.
I kind of wish, now that I did watch it, that I did get to watch it again after that ending. I'm not going to get into that because we're in spoiler free right now. But yeah, while watching it, I wasn't sure how I was feeling about it, to be completely honest. Like, I thought it was like, I don't know. I did zone out a couple times, I'm not gonna lie, but I did like sort of enjoy it. And then by the end of it, I was like, my rating went up so much higher after that.
Nice.
So, and now I'm still thinking back to it, like thinking about all these different parts, and like I'm trying to figure out what was actually happening. But we'll get into that, obviously, and it'll help me. That's all I'll say, spoiler free. I'll explain myself when we get into spoilers. Ryan here says, rest in peace, Patrick Swayze. I honor his name. Yes, Ryan Swayze.
Yeah.
Jerry Trainer was one of the kids asking Patrick Swayze a question during the assembly. Okay. And Bitterwolf sub to your YouTube and Instagrams. Donnie Darko is awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. I appreciate it, man. I'll definitely go sub to your channel too after this.
And the best line is, "You're the effing Antichrist."
Oh,
yeah.
There's a lot of great dialogue in this film.
Mm-hmm.
For real. I mean, there's so many. All the Smurf talk and all that. I mean,
Without that dog.
Yeah, I knew Allie wouldn't like that, but I was like, yeah, that's definitely high school like guys hanging out for sure.
But I liked when Donnie chimed in and called them out on being.
Yeah, Donnie's kind of the voice of reason.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get into spoilers.
All
I have a
right.
feeling if you're in the chat, you've probably seen this movie if you clicked on this live. So
Hopefully, there's a really, really cool like Arrow release of this movie. They've done it twice now, and I don't own one of them, but I've been looking up the 4K release of this movie.
Okay.
It's still available.
Okay. Describe this movie in 3 words. Oh, look.
Oh yeah, see, yeah,
There you go.
So nice. Ooh, I love that. Art.
it's such.
Oh, that's cool.
The artwork on that release is just beautiful.
It is.
Yeah.
Allie, you want to start us off? 3 words. Describe this movie.
Sure. I put unique, atmospheric, and unforgettable.
Good. I like
Yeah.
atmospheric.
Yeah.
Definitely is.
I went with emotional, eerie, and bold.
Great pick.
Okay.
Okay.
I went with sci-fi, creepy, and tragic.
Oh,
Oh, that's tragic's a good one. That's a really good word for this. Yeah, I like that.
yeah, I like that word better than my last word. I went with funny because I was laughing quite a bit.
Yeah.
Vulgar because it's very vulgar, but not in a bad way. I like vulgar. Just explaining myself there. And dark.
Oh yeah.
It's got a lot of dark themes going on and a very dark ending.
It is
Um,
so dark.
Yeah.
Dark.
I almost
who-
used dark myself. I actually did. I switched that one for I think emotional, but I almost used dark myself. Because they're kind of the same. It's dark, it's emotional,
Yeah.
it's whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's your favorite character?
You want to go in the same order again? You want me to start? Or
Yep.
Okay. So the one that I had written down, this will be no surprise to Anthony, but it was Karen Pomeroy, the teacher Drew Barrymore played. Just because I love Drew Barrymore and I really liked her character and her personality. And I also liked Donnie's sister, Elizabeth, even though she wasn't in it a whole lot. But whenever she was, I liked her personality, and they have great dynamics since they are siblings in real life. And I thought they had good chemistry. So, yeah, go with Karen.
Great, yeah, great. But I knew you were gonna pick her for sure. I was like,
How
oh,
can
there's
you
no
not?
way.
So lovable.
She is.
I
She's
love
super lovable in this movie too, and she was a huge reason why this film got the budget that it got too, because she's a producer on it. She's an executive producer, and this movie went from $3 million for the budget to $6 million just because she, put her stamp of approval on it basically, and she wanted to get the film made, and everything. So her and her friend, I got her name right here, Nancy Juvonen. She's the other producer. Both of those ladies were a huge reason why this film got made and got some of the got Patrick Swayze and stuff like that. So, and even got to theaters as well as because of Drew Barrymore. So, yeah,
That's cool.
But as for my favorite character, I got to go with Donnie Darko. I mean, he's without him, you just the whole film just hinges on his shoulders. Even though there's so many great performances, it's just really on Jake Gyllenhaal's shoulders to make this work and to really sell his performance and that character to everyone. So I had to go with Donnie.
Okay.
Yep. I also went with Donnie.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Yeah, Donnie is just he's unhinged. Like, he's not all there, but he's too smart for his own good. He's definitely even the principal says he's like his, I don't know what the American test scores are, but like he's like your test scores are like incredibly intimidating. So like he's too smart for his own good. So that like I think he's got like this little bit of a I'm better than everybody else kind of complex going on, but he's like so shy too on top of that. But I don't know, he's bold too. He makes some choices throughout this movie that I think are the right choices, even knowing everybody around him is all the parent figures are telling them that they're not, essentially. like Mrs. whatever her face is. I fucking hate her. We'll get to that next, I guess, though.
Yeah, I went back and forth with who my favorite character was. I went back and forth between Donnie's parents because I just felt like they were so sweet and like you could tell that they were actually like happy and in love and whatever, like their dialogue together. You see more happy parents in older movies. I feel like now they make it a little more realistic with like broken families and whatever. But yeah, it's just kind of refreshing to see, I guess. But I also wrote Karen because I also love Drew Barrymore. I love her voice. I love everything about her. I loved her outfits in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she
Her
was just
hair
really
was
cool.
so pretty and sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, big Drew Barrymore fan. So I think I'm gonna seal it with Karen as well.
Nice.
She's very like hippie in this one.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
She is. And that's kind of Drew Barrymore in real life too, you know. She's kind of got that kind of personality and stuff.
Free-spirited.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah, free-spirited, but very genuine too, and brings a lot of heart and everything. So it feels believable because I believe that's really her, you know. So
yeah.
And you said she only filmed for 5 days, right? Her part?
Oh, she filmed for a week. They had to get all of her stuff done in a week because she was in between Charlie's Angels and another project. So they only had her for a week to shoot all of her scenes. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie says bold indeed. Back to the
There
3
you go.
words there.
Yeah.
I love the dinner scene. The exchange between Donnie and Elizabeth is hilarious and natural and reminded me of silly fights with my own brothers. I like that scene too.
I'm voting for Dukakis. I love how pissed the dad is. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I love Donnie because his test scores are intimidating.
Yes.
This movie was going to be shelved until Drew Barrymore read the script and wanted to be in it. Okay.
Yep. I'm telling you, Drew Barrymore made this whole thing happen. She really did. It's funny, and I feel like people never talk about that, but I watched the documentary on this, and it's 89 minutes. So it's like an hour and a half, and it goes into all the behind the scenes stuff and all of the, the characters and the actors and producers and just everything that went into making this movie. And that was called, because I know there's actually, I think, a few different documentaries, but the one I watched is actually on this Arrow video release, and it's called Deus Ex Machina, The Philosophy of Donnie Darko. And I can actually pull that up right there in case people want to check it out, but it's very informative.
Is that streaming somewhere?
I don't know, because I watched it. It's actually part of this release.
Okay.
There's a documentary attached to it, but it could also be streaming somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
Arrow,
yeah.
Arrow has its own streaming platform, so maybe it's on there.
Could be, yeah. Could be attached to it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Dull Fangs is with us. Donnie Darko is in my top 4 all time.
Ooh, let's go. Dull Fangs. I love that name too. Got a couple cool wolf names in here.
Thanks for being here with us.
Thanks.
Does anyone else hate the stupid gym teacher as much as I do? That's a great segue for our least favorite character. Allie, do you want to say who your least favorite character is?
I actually have people. But they're pairs. Yeah, the 2 bullies. I mean, just the encounter with Gretchen alone when she's waiting for the bus, I was like, you guys are creeps and trash. I was so glad that Donnie walked her home.
Your boobs.
Yeah, just out of nowhere. Like completely covered up, not flashing anything. I'm just like, wow. Okay. So those 2, and then also Donnie's dumb friends that just did not fit with him at all. I was like, you're so much smarter than them. Why do you hang out with these guys?
They give him cigarettes.
Yeah.
I knew you were gonna say his 2 best friends. I knew it because of that Smurf conversation. I knew it. I was like,
yeah, they're just dumb.
That's such a conversation teenage boys would have, though. Like,
it is.
Yeah, like fuck, marry, kill, but with like cartoon character like moms and stuff. Like, I don't know. We all did that as kids.
Yeah, I thought they were.
I completely agree. I completely. It's a total guy conversation. Like your boys are hanging out and you're just talking about stupid shit. It's one of those. It's definitely one of those. It's just kind of fun. But yeah, definitely probably more geared towards the guys than the ladies. But I dug it too. For me, what's funny? I really don't hate any of the characters just because I think the performances are so great. So it's like, I guess if I just in terms of the movie, I guess it would be the bullies because they're pretty evil. Like everything they say is just pure evil. Especially when they talk about Jenna Malone's character, her, what happened with her family and everything. And, so I would have to go with the bullies. But even them, like I said, God, the actors do such a good job playing these evil, dickhead characters that, it's like, oh, I appreciate the performances. So I don't even really hate them because I love the performances.
They were also mean to that girl, Charita, too,
yes, very mean.
Because she was so sweet and just quiet and didn't bother anyone. So, yeah, they were immediately on my crap list. It was like, oh, you're done. It was like, leave these nice ladies alone.
And then Donnie's friend was also really mean to her too. Told her to go back to China.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus, God. So they weren't nice to her either. I felt bad for that girl because she got it the worst. I mean, she did. Yeah. How about you?
Mine is Mrs. Farmer, who I think is the gym teacher. Fuck, did she ever get under my skin?
Yeah.
I hate her face. I really do. She is just so insufferable in this movie, and her religiousness and the pushing and her undoubting infatuation with Patrick Swayze is just insane, and she's just such a bitch to Donnie's mom.
Talks down to her.
So condescending. The fact that Donnie's mom just even considered the fact of doing anything she brought up to her is beyond me. I just want to slam the door right in her face.
Yeah. That's a great pick for sure.
And it's the best part of the movie is when her whole world comes fucking crashing down around her. I fucking love it. The look she gets when she reads that fucking newspaper makes it worth the whole movie.
Yeah, I went with her too. I put bitch gym teacher because I didn't know what her name was. But I also wrote down Seth Rogen and his buddy. I wasn't sure what their names were, the bullies. But yeah, I see both. The teacher is just horrific. The way I'm surprised Donnie's mom didn't slap her, not just smash the door.
I was expecting her to.
Oh yeah.
When she comes over and says she questions her parenting and says oh you're the last person I would have asked, but all the other moms are busy. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, how rude.
Yeah, she's nuts.
Yeah. So, that mom's got a lot of self-restraint, not just bitch slapping her across the face.
Yeah. I tell you, my mom,
I give her credit
with any of that.
She's definitely the bigger person for sure.
Yeah.
Who do you guys think had the best performance?
I mentioned 3 people. I mean, obviously Jake Gyllenhaal is the star. He's amazing in this, as he always is. But also Beth Grant, or I think it's Beth Grant, who played Miss Farmer. She delivered a great performance. And then also Patrick Swayze. He was very entertaining every time he was on screen. So those 3 for me.
Those are good answers.
Yeah, I already talked about Jake Gyllenhaal, so I'll leave him out. And then you mentioned Patrick Swayze and Drew Barrymore, so I'll leave them. But because I wrote down so many. But I'll go with Maggie Gyllenhaal because I think she did a great job as a sister. I really did. I believed all of her scenes, especially the end when she's crying and it's just it's so sad. That she's got that perfect look, that perfect expression on her face where she just lost her best friend basically at the end of the movie. It's
well, probably too, because that's her real brother, so it's she could understand what that would be like thinking about losing him, so it probably hit even differently. I
completely agree. And then I also wrote down Alex Greenwald, who played like the main bully guy, who I guess is also the lead singer of a band too. I forgot their name. Maybe somebody in the chat knows, but he's actually like a singer. And they were just shocked because like I guess his music is kind of like nice and everything, and then like he's just playing the most despicable character ever. So it was kind of weird when they like listening to his music. I think the director was talking about it, and then like seeing his performance was like, whoa, this guy flipped on a dime. And then I would also go with Catherine Ross as the therapist.
Mm.
Yeah, I thought she did a really great job too. I really dig those therapy sessions that they're going through and everything. So, yeah,
yeah, all good answers. I missed a couple here. All praise Sparkle Motion.
Yes.
I've actually heard guys have that Smurf conversation growing up in the 80s.
There you go.
Yeah. See.
Sometimes I question your commitment to Sparkle Motion.
Yeah.
Oh God. All right. Who was the best performance for you?
I don't think there's a bad performance in this movie.
No.
I think everybody is absolutely fantastic. And this is a movie that like jump-started like everybody's careers, right? Like I feel like everybody, well, besides like Patrick Swayze and Drew Barrymore, but like all the youngsters like Seth Rogen and like you said, Ashley Tisdale was in this movie. I had no idea.
High School Musical.
Yeah.
Sharpay.
You get both the Gyllenhaals. Yeah. I think everybody did absolutely amazing.
The girl that plays Gretchen too. She's in this movie that I grew up watching. My Oma showed it to me called Saved. It's so bad, but so good. Mandy Moore's in it.
Here somewhere.
Macaulay Culkin's in it.
Gretchen's the love interest, right? For some reason, I thought her name was Bridget.
Right here.
Yeah, I have it upstairs too. It's so good. Such a random movie.
And then just a fun fact about Catherine Ross in this film, who plays the therapist. They actually, called her and they set up a meeting to go up to like her house to talk to her about being in this film. And she was in the movie The Graduate, which was huge back in the 60s, 1967. And the director and some of the other people got there and they started talking to her about like, oh, we really want you in this movie and all this stuff. And she actually thought in her mind, she liked the script so much and everything, she thought she was like auditioning for the role. And the director was like, no, we want you in the movie. Like we came here to make sure you are in the movie. And she's like, oh God, I thought like I was auditioning for it. Like I had to try out or whatever. They're like, no. Like
that's awesome.
You're in The Graduate and all this, they were like honored to have her in that role and everything. So it was kind of funny how that worked out because she really just loved the movie, or she loved the script, and she wanted to be a part of it. So I thought that was cool.
That's awesome. I like that. Jake was in one movie before this one called October Sky, but it was the first time I saw Maggie in anything.
Oh,
What's October Sky? That sounds familiar.
I watched it in like junior high school. It's like in science class or something.
Is it about a rocket ship?
Yes. Something.
I've seen that.
Doesn't he build his own rocket ship or something?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I watched that in school too.
I've never seen it, but.
Oh. Yeah, we watched it in school too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I agree. Everyone did fantastic. Shush.
Bruce,
Everyone did fantastic. I would almost give it to the gym teacher too, because she made me hate her so much. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, if someone can make me like get under my skin that bad, like then you did a good job. Because I hope she's not like that in real life. So I think I might give it to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She does tend to play that character, that role a lot though. Because she's also the same teacher in Child's Play too.
Yes, she gets beat with the ruler.
With the roller. Yeah.
I've only seen that movie once and it's been a while. So
yeah.
okay. Well, I'll still give it to her.
Oh yeah, no, she's great at playing that character for sure. She's so good.
He was also in the comedy Bubble Boy. We brought that up today when we were talking.
So funny. I
watched that at one of my birthday parties growing up. Score and soundtrack. What did you guys think of the score and soundtrack?
Love both. I feel like they fit perfectly. It just keeps that mood perfect. I don't know. I don't have any complaints.
Yeah.
I love it.
Same. I wrote the same thing. I said, love it. Michael Andrews composed the score for this. Michael Andrews also composed the score for Freaks and Geeks, if you ever watched that show.
Yeah.
Which Seth Rogen was also a part of that. So it's kind of interesting. He's got a little crossover there. But love the score. I think it goes brilliantly with the movie. It just adds, it goes intense when it needs to. And then it's kind of airy and breathy in certain scenes where it's just Jenna Malone and Jake Gyllenhaal, and they're just kind of, talking to each other. And it's just this nice kind of easygoing music in the background. But then there are scenes where it gets really intense too, and it ramps it up. And I love that as well. So, and I know he even told them, the composer, he said that he kind of wanted to try something that's a bit experimental, if you'll allow me to, let me kind of play with the music my way. And they let him, and I think it works perfectly for the film. So, And obviously the soundtrack's a banger. I can listen to any one of these songs over and over again. I mean, they're so good. Great soundtrack.
Little Tears for Fears. That's why I wore this shirt.
Nice.
On the soundtrack. Well, actually, they have 2 songs on the soundtrack, but the other one is a cover of one of their songs, the Mad World song at the end.
I love that song so much.
Yeah, I do too.
It's probably in my top 15 songs of all time. As soon as it started playing, I was like, oh, this is so good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love the soundtrack too. I would look up that soundtrack on Spotify and listen to it. I was very impressed with the soundtrack for this movie.
Oh yeah, me too. I love it. I think the song that they're doing when they do the montage of going through the high school for the first time, whenever that song comes on the radio, there's one guy at work with me, and he's like, "Hey, Donnie Darko," and he'll always point up at me because we talked about it before. And then so incredibly memorable score for this movie, or soundtrack, as well as score. Yeah, no complaints.
Jamie says the score and soundtrack are amazing. I prefer the arrangement in the director's cut, though. It's different from the theatrical, and I feel it fits better.
Yeah, see, I think he was able to reinstate some of the songs that he wanted originally in the film. I personally, and this might just be biased because I watched the theatrical cut first and the most, because I do prefer the theatrical cut. I like that. I like those songs. I think they fit the mood and everything right. But that's what's great about it is so you can have this back and forth, because some people prefer the director's cut, and then there's people like me. I prefer the theatrical, because I think the theatrical also leaves it more ambiguous too, which I like, whereas the director's cut kind of explains it more. And it changes around the songs, and it also adds some key moments too in the director's cut, where Donnie is having this really impactful conversation with his father, and that got cut, and that's too bad. See, I would have loved to have added that back in, but watch both for sure, because I could easily see people preferring the director's cut too. So
okay. Cinematography.
Loved it. I mean, it was a beautiful looking movie. So again, the colors and stuff, it just it fits that mood of the movie so well. So again, it's no complaints. I loved everything.
Every category, loved it.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I'm right there with her too. Yeah, so the cinematographer is Stephen Poster, who also worked on movies such as Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Blade Runner, Big Trouble in Little China, and Unbreakable, and a lot of other ones. So this guy's been around the block and stuff, and I thought he just did a fantastic job. And he was somebody that also came in and was able to use some of his pull to get the anamorphic lenses that they used for the cameras, because they make it like wider and everything. And the studio wasn't going to let this first time director have access to those very expensive lenses and all that. They're like, you can't play with these toys. You can play with those toys, but not these. So the cinematographer came in and he was like, look, this is why I want those lenses, and this is why I think it might be even a little cost effective. And he explained it, and then he was able to get those lenses for the film, which obviously make a huge difference if you look at it, because like I said, yeah, it gives the film a wider aspect ratio and a more cinematic look. So it was a big deal getting those. So yeah, it's,
I mean, just the opening shot with like the sky and everything is so beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah.
They had to reshoot that actually, because they used the Steadicam, and it was like the perfect shot, but when they rewatched it, the Steadicam was kind of doing this.
Oh no.
So it was like kind of vibrating, so they couldn't use it, so they had to like go back out again and refilm it, and luckily they captured the exact same sunrise and all that, and it looked beautiful. And they got rid of that guy who was running the Steadicam, brought on another guy, and they made sure all the equipment was working good, and they got it perfect. So
like, but you're too shaky to be like,
right.
You need someone steady.
Yeah.
Jamie says one of my favorite cinematographers. So good. Yeah, I agree. I thought it all looked good too. I like that it's like bright and colorful in the movie, and then when he's going through his episodes, it's super dark and gloomy. Yeah, I thought everything looked good too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. I like a lot of the centering too. So like whenever Donnie's talking to him in the bathroom, like both characters are centered.
Yes.
You can also talk about like the effects too, and how like he's like pushing against this invisible barrier that's there, and you can see the ripples rubbing off from where he's pushing in.
Scene.
Yeah, and then the end shots too of the big wormhole opening up above his house all looks really good. It almost looks like a matte painting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's true or not. I'm assuming you were going to chime in.
Oh,
on that
I'm
one.
actually not sure. I don't recall them talking about that scene, but I know what you're talking about, where you have the matte painting and that they're able to kind of like make it move as well, like that look. Yeah, it does have that look to it. It could be. I'm not sure. I don't remember them bringing that up, but you're right. The visuals are, gorgeous for that too. So, which is crazy. Just because of when this film was made, you wouldn't expect the effects to look as good as they are, especially with the lower budget and everything too. But they look great.
Yeah, they still hold up, and I wish matte paintings would come back.
Me too.
Yeah, I really do.
Did you have anything else for cinematography?
No, I didn't pick out any more shots. I wanted to make sure that I got the full grasp of the story this time around, because I knew it was pretty confusing the last time I watched it. So
yeah. Favorite costumes and outfits?
I had a few. I mean, technically 2 costumes, which would be obviously Frank's suit is iconic, and then also Donnie's skeleton costume with his hoodie at the party was great. But then like Karen and Jim's wardrobes were great as well, because they were like colorful compared to everybody else's uniforms, and like the kind of just dull colors, like they were the pops of color. So I appreciated those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also said, obviously, Frank's bunny costume is amazing. The mask and just the furry suit and all that stuff is great. The uniforms that were created as well, I love the look of those because it adds to the conformity aspect of the film. Everybody looking the same, saying the same thing, da 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 da. So I love how it kind of plays a role in the film. And it's funny too, because a lot of the wardrobe and everything that was in this there was a lot of stuff being reused from other films, and because once again, it's made on a budget, so they had to make it do. But the wardrobe lady who came up with all the costumes and everything, she said like, hey, we could have them all wear the same uniforms, the same school uniforms, and that would save on the cost. And I actually have some of these uniforms from another film that I worked on, so it kind of works out. So they were like, okay. And it goes with like I said, the conformity thing and everybody sounding the same, looking the same. So it worked out, perfectly. And then also Patrick Swayze's character, it was funny. They had him bust out some old clothes that he had from the 80s that he had like up in his attic, and his wife told him like, oh, you should wear that like Izod shirt with like those khaki pants or whatever he was wearing. Those would look great, for this scene. And they actually went with that outfit for one of the scenes too. So those were actually Patrick Swayze's old clothes from the 80s. Those actually came right out of his wardrobe.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't got much more else. Like Frank the Bunny Rabbit is, like just the creepiest, unsettling looking bunny rabbit you've ever seen. It's like Bugs Bunny if he was turned into a crackhead.
Totally.
And and like there's some fun like Halloween costumes flying around. I'd like to maybe say there's some references in there, but like I couldn't figure out what Maggie Gyllenhaal was supposed to be. At first I thought she was supposed to be Cleopatra, and then like later on when we saw her, it's definitely not Cleopatra. So
yeah, I was trying to figure that out too. I wasn't sure.
yeah, I was almost maybe thinking that maybe she's like the Addams Family mom, and then
Morticia.
Yeah, and then I didn't get that either because of the bowl cut.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
I don't know either.
I put the bunny. I thought the bunny was legitimately creepy. Like there was one scene where I was like, "Oh my god, if I saw that bunny, I don't even know what I would do. I would just freak out." So creepy, his face. And then all of Drew Barrymore's outfits. I really liked the first outfit we saw her in with the flowy skirt and the big chunky belt, and she got her brown boots on, and all of her outfits are awesome. And then same with the sister. She had like this leather jacket. She's always got hoops in, and I love my hoops. So yeah. I really like the wardrobes for the ladies.
That's awesome.
We will get into memorable lines.
So there's a lot of famous ones, but I highlighted 3 that I think people probably don't talk about. And one of them maybe. The first one kind of goes back to what you were saying, Sam, about Donnie's parents and how like they had really good chemistry. You believed that they were in love and like they loved each other and how like playful they were. So the first line that I loved was when she comes back to the bedroom and he says, "You're bitching, but you're not a bitch." I loved that because it was like so playful.
I wrote that too.
I did too.
Oh, that was adorable.
So cute.
And then the other 2 are from my favorite character, Karen. The first one was sit next to the boy you think is the cutest, because it's like it's so rare that a teacher would say something like that. So I thought that was fun. And then the other one is the more deeper one. She says, "I don't think that you have a clue what it's like to communicate with these kids. And we are losing them to apathy, to this prescribed nonsense. They are slipping away." I thought that hit deep. I was like, it's so true. Even now, like 24 years after this movie came out, so accurate to people nowadays. They just don't care, and it's scary.
That's a good one.
Great quotes. Yeah, those are, I went with some more playful ones because I just thought they were funny. Kitty Farmer. Sometimes I doubt your commitment to sparkle motion. I love that line. And then also another one from Kitty Farmer. "I'll tell you what he said. He asked me to forcibly insert the Lifeline exercise card into my anus." And then Frank saying, "Burn it to the ground." I love that line because it just sounded so sincere coming from him, and just burn it to the ground. I love that. And then once again, that music kind of ramps up. You see Donnie going in there with his hood up and, the gas and all that stuff, and just setting that place ablaze. Loved it. But yeah, that's a great quote for me. Yeah. What about you guys?
I got Donnie Darko with "You're such a fuck ass." That's just ridiculous. It makes me laugh. Let me see. Let me see. My notes are all over the place because we don't actually have our layouts, and it's dark in here, so I gotta see. Let me see. "Every living creature on Earth dies alone."
That's a great one.
Yeah, very impactful line there, I thought.
There's
a couple lines too from like Drew Barrymore's Classroom that I wanted to write, but I didn't get around to it. We got Frank here with why are you wearing that stupid man suit? Love it.
So good.
But that's all I will keep it to.
Those are great ones, man. Love all these quotes.
What do I got here? Ones that have not been mentioned. Oh, that's some good shit, huh? And then he goes, "It's a fucking cigarette."
It's not like you're smoking weed or anything. Man.
I thought that was so funny how he just shuts him down like it's a fucking cigarette. And then I have what are feces, baby mice.
Oh, I love that.
That was so cute. I was
She's like,
that's gross, but...
Yeah, my mom says it's baby mice.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that. The other ones were mentioned already. Do you guys have any least favorite lines?
Well, Allie, you know yours. Is this whole Smurf conversation?
Yeah, just all of that. But it's just personal taste. Like, it's just, I think it's, distasteful or whatever. But it is, like, authentic and, like, realistic conversation. So I don't really have, like, least favorite lines, I would say, overall. I think it's really well written.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, I can't think of any either. No.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, no, I think there's very good back and forth between a lot of these characters. I think this movie almost crosses the line of like cringe. Almost like it rides the line very well with like a lot of Donnie Darko's character, I guess. Like, especially when he's talking to like Gretchen and like just rides the line of almost being cringy. It almost gave me like May vibes.
Oh God.
Maybe not that cringe level of dialogue, but like almost. It's really well written. I don't know. Some of it just kind of came out funny to me.
Okay.
No, it's smart too because he's since he's a high school student and he's super awkward too, that kind of works, that like cringiness, because a lot of like high school kids are like that too, where you're like, oh God, did you really just say that?
Yeah. Like, especially like, you want to go with me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're here,
Yeah, I've never even heard that. It's always go out with me or want to go on a date at least. Like, that's some bad slang going on in the early 2000s.
It's like he could barely get out the words, It's
like he fucked up and missed the word and then was like, I'm going to save this.
I got to recover.
It was pretty fast too. It was like the first time they had even spent any time together. He's like, "You want to go together?" It's like, this is our first conversation. I'm like, can we talk a little bit more?
He knows that she thinks he's cute, so he took advantage.
True.
Jamie actually says "You want to go with me" was definitely a lingo of the time. It was an 80s thing.
Good call, Jamie. All right.
Yeah. She also says the director Richard Kelly has only made 2 other movies, both packed with huge names. Southland Tales is super underrated and pays homage to David Lynch's films, which may make me a bit biased. LOL.
Okay.
Loves her some David Lynch.
Yep.
There's definitely an ET reference.
Oh yeah, with them riding the bikes and everything too. That totally reminded me of the Goonies and ET and all those movies.
Maggie's costume is typical of the times. It was popular to dress dark like Elvira. Okay.
But I was getting too with her outfit. Just like the all
Okay.
And then why are you wearing that stupid bunny suit? Why are you wearing that stupid man suit?
So good.
Okay. Favorite kill. This wasn't like a slasher or anything, but there was a couple.
Yeah.
What's your favorite kill?
Thing down because I don't like consider them like kills. I'm not looking at it as that way. So I'm like, maybe the gunshot to the eye, even though it's like sad too, it's like tragic, but I don't know, I guess I'd go with that one because it's pretty epic setup as well, like leading up to that moment.
Yeah,
that's what I wrote down as well. Yeah, Frank, getting shot right in the eye there, and they did such a great job with that effect too, that like the makeup or the appliance that they use. Because I know he mentioned that they had to like put like all those little eyebrow hairs on there like piece by piece, so it took hours to do just to get that to look exactly like his eye and like his face right there. So yeah, I definitely got to go with that one for Frank. Yep.
This is tough because I don't want to quite break into the whole story yet, but like favorite kill.
Favorite death.
Favorite death.
Sounds better for this movie.
Yeah. Okay. But maybe I'll go with Donnie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Donnie sacrifices himself to make sure. I think this is kind of what I'm getting for, is that he makes it so that nothing in that timeline actually ends up coming to fruition.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then he ends up saving Gretchen and not end up killing Frank.
Yeah. Okay. I know I was having a tough time picking between those two as well. I think it is hard. I don't know. They're both really good. I'm going to go with Frank, I think, because this was my first time watching it too. So I was not expecting this movie to go where it did. And I was just like, holy shit, that guy's the guy that he's been seeing. And like, hey, he's like, what's up with his eye? His eyes are there. And I was just so confused. And then that's when I know it took me a long time to really get into the film, but that's when I really got into it. I know it's like the last half hour, but
I forgot that would have been a twist for you.
It was massive.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. So that blew me away. So I think I'm going to go with that one.
Yeah.
That was a massive twist for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens when you are new to a movie and you literally have not heard anything about it. I didn't even know what this movie was about. Like, I didn't look up a synopsis or anything. It hasn't been spoiled for me in the past, so it was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was big.
And technically, you could even go with Jenna Malone's character too. She does die, so even that does count.
Yeah,
because I was shocked.
Yep. I was shocked when she got hit by the car too. I was like, "What?"
I know, he rolled her ass too. It was like, like, God, that was brutal. Like,
yeah.
Jesus. Yeah.
Do you guys have a least favorite death? I know there's not many to pick from, but
well, you know. Oh, sorry, you got that.
Oh, I would probably say Jenna, just because I feel like it wasn't like bloody enough in a way. Like, I feel like it should have been like a little bit more messed up after getting run over like that. It didn't look great the way it all happened, but it's like a nitpick. I mean, So.
Yeah. I was gonna say with probably hers too, just because out of the three of them, it's probably because I kind of thought the same thing. There was like a little bit of blood on her hand, and I think like a little bit of blood like on her face or her head, but it's like they were trying to keep her looking still good, so you felt for it. Like you had the emotional connection, I think. But with Donnie Darko, since we're in the spoilers and everything, with his death at the end, they actually filmed him dying. There actually is, you can look up the scene and it shows him impaled by a giant piece of wood. And he's literally like impaled and there's like blood going down and you can see his face and everything. And they thought, like, okay, it's too much. It's too much. We're just gonna show it, the engine coming down, and then you see the beds get smashed and all that stuff, and they're like, that's good, because they felt like it was a bit much showing him dead like that, like impaled or whatever. It was like just too sad or too
Final Destination stuff there.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of made it feel more like a Final Destination. Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up after.
Me too. I was thinking the same thing.
Yep, you can see it. Oh
yeah. I went with is it Gretchen?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's her name.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, her death. I think she's just like such a nice character, and she just doesn't deserve the way she went out.
Yeah.
I get like it's probably not the most realistic looking kill, but Donnie's got to carry her around still for like another 20 minutes in the movie. Like, he wants to keep. She's got to be looking good while he's doing that.
It looked a little more scuffed up, just a little bit, a little dirty. She was on some dirt, like a dirt road, I'm like, a little bit more.
Maybe,
Throw some dirt on her face.
Yeah,
I could see Donnie cleaning her up though.
maybe.
That does seem like that could be like an
I don't think
OCD
that would be
Donnie thing to do.
Oh, for him specifically?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
But I
Keeping her
still liked her
pristine.
death though, because her getting hit by that car was still brutal. Like you felt that when she got hit, for sure. Even though it didn't look crazy bloody afterwards, but you definitely felt that impact, for sure. Like holy shit.
But it's definitely foreshadowed that someone's going to get hit on that road because, that like grandma death, lady, like 2 really close calls where she almost gets hit because she's out the road. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going with her as well. And that's just nitpicking. Like, I agree. It still is a good death. Like, I was shocked when she got hit by the car. But if there's only so many I can pick from. And like Ali said, nitpicking, I guess I'll just go with her. Gore factor and special effects. What do we think of the special effects?
I liked them. I thought they were really cool looking. So,
yeah,
like when he's touching doing like that, and those weird like things that are moving from people. Like I don't even know what you call those, but that was really cool looking too. Especially at the party when you could see like multiple ones moving at the same time.
What were those?
I don't know what you would call that.
So go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's funny because there's actually I've heard a few different takes on this too, but I look at it like their timelines. Like this is where they're destined to go, and that's kind of just following that. It's basically, like I said, their timeline. Like this is where you're destined to go, and it's kind of following. And since Donnie's is more like he's trying to fix everything, so his is a little bit different because now he's kind of like on a mission to set things right. But everybody else's are going in these other directions. But I heard or I read that there's maybe more of an emotional connection with those two. Like, I don't know. It was really interesting. I was reading up on them, but there might be like more emotions tied into that as well. But I just kind of look at it as their timelines. Just I think that makes the most sense. But what were you going to say, Brendan?
I was pretty much around the same line as like it's where they're fated to end up. So like they have to follow that motion whenever they've made a decision. Like we see it with Donnie's dad there, and he makes the decision to go get a beer, I think, right? During the football game. Yeah. And then it leads him to the fridge, and then it leads him back down to sit back of the chair. So he's made the decisions, and now he's going to have to stick to that timeline. Because you don't really see anybody alter from where they're going other than like maybe Donnie. But Donnie's almost being lured by this thing the whole time. So like that's confusing.
Yeah, well, because like Frank is taking him through this to like fix the main timeline basically. So he's kind of taking him on this journey as like this kind of specter or ghost or whatever that's helping him, like kind of assisting him through his journey, and to just to make sure everything goes as planned with the engine getting sucked back up into the sky and all that stuff happening. So yeah, but those are cool. Yeah, I dig that effect too, because they said that they got that idea from The Abyss.
I was just about to mention that it reminded me of that.
Yeah, so they took inspiration from that and then just kind of made it their own. I think Donnie referred to them as like liquid spears. Kind of doing that. That's what they look like going around. So yeah, I love that effect. So cool.
Yeah,
as far as visual effects, I would go with those, and then also him hitting the glass, the mirror with the knife, and it kind of like rippling, and then you just see Frank's, he's kind of moving around, and then his eye just starts glowing and everything. I thought that was a great effect. But yeah, those would probably be like my favorites. Those like stand out the most to me. How about you guys?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think all the effects hold up. We were talking earlier about like the wormhole looking like a matte painting. I think still holds up really great. And we watched this on DVD on like the 4K TV, and I think it looked really good. Yeah, I got no complaints.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. The only question I had was about those things. But the explanation makes sense now. I wasn't sure if it was like their auras or what. I was like, what is happening? But now it makes sense. And I thought the eyeball looked gross too, Frank's eye. Like it looked nasty. So I thought that was well done. Yeah, I thought everything looked good too.
And actually, just the effect of the plane engine coming down too, because that was done practically, and cool. You know, they only had one shot to get it right, so they had to make sure that the cameraman, you know, got the shot of it and then kind of panned down to follow the engine like crashing through, because they did that for real. They actually brought in this giant engine, you know, and then, you know, put it up and then like dropped it down. So they literally only had one shot to get this right.
Oh my God.
So if they screwed it up, that was the end of it. So they were like, okay, we got to do this. And I thought it looked phenomenal. It looks so real. And I'm so glad that they didn't use like CGI or something stupid like that. I'm glad that they actually went with like a practical way of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, CGI would have ruined that scene for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie says Donnie needed to be convinced to sacrifice himself to fix the timeline. That's why it takes 28 days.
Mm. Yep.
Storyline and pacing.
I put interesting and engaging story with good pacing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Let's see. Yeah, I just put the storyline I find very interesting throughout, and the pacing is smooth. You know, yeah. I never, you know, get bored or anything while watching it. I'm always interested in what the characters are saying, so that keeps me going. And then, you know, like I said, the music I think really helps with the pacing, and you know, the cool effects and all that stuff I think really help with all that. So,
okay.
Yep. Very, very well written script. I don't have a problem with the pacing either. I do think it's edited in a way where it's super fast paced, and if you're not paying attention to some things, you're gonna miss it, and that might affect how you feel about the movie later on. That's why I was kind of worried, because that's what I think the first time me watching the movie, I missed some scenes. Like maybe I dozed out. Like back in 2012, I was like 19. So like so sure I was a movie buff, but also the attention span wasn't all fucking there for me. So I don't know if like now I've calmed down and I can actually like pay attention the whole way through, that I enjoyed it more for sure. But I do think that there's like, it's cut very fast. So like it'll go from like a scene with like 2 sentences and it'll cut to another scene really quick. So that can like throw some people off. Why are you smiling at me?
No, you just know my attention span is shit, so I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. But I do like this, the time travel aspect. I think it's super interesting. I love time travel movies, especially if they're done in like a way where it's not like Back to the Future, where it's like a conventional, I'm going to use a time machine. This is just somebody that's able to stumble upon a wormhole and go through and alter time in some way. And I also like, you're talking about the conformity, which is all like Drew Barrymore's sidelines as well, like a side story as well. And I really like that, because she's the one that's trying to be like, let these kids think for themselves. Let's get these kids having like thought-provoking questions and let them question us and question themselves. And meanwhile, the gym teacher is the complete opposite of that, as well as Patrick Swayze's character, who turns out to be disgusting by the end of this movie. And then like there's like Let the World Burn too, which is like Drew Barrymore's first conversation with I can't remember what the book is she's talking about, but the guys burn the house down just to like watch it burn, which is kind of what Donnie Darko does. He doesn't know what's inside, but he watches it burn, and then lo and behold, this big public figure that's moved to this town that's supposed to be the saving grace of our children is actually a pedophile. So revealing some dark stuff there. Yeah, I like it. I don't like the fact that he goes back in time and kind of fixes that aspect, but the rest of the stuff that he does fix is good.
Yeah, that's the only unfortunate thing. That's like, oh man.
Yeah. Now,
what's kind of interesting about that, but I mean, I guess I could save it for like final thoughts, but just since you're on it now, I guess it's kind of interesting because, by the end of the movie and then that Mad World song kicks in and you start seeing everybody kind of waking up, and it goes through, the therapist and the teacher, the guy that was helping out Donnie with the time travel stuff. And then it gets to Patrick Swayze's character and he's like crying in bed. Because I guess there's a couple different ways you could take it, because to me, it shows that even though time has been fixed and everything's back to normal, but it's almost like they each woke up from like a very bad dream, and they kind of have like a recollection of what happened in that timeline. So it makes me wonder if Patrick Swayze's character is crying because he was so scared because it felt so real that he got arrested and went to jail and and all that. But it could also, which then, if he believes that it's just a nightmare, then he might just shake it off and go back to doing what he was doing. But if he believes that it's real, then it might inspire him to shut the whole thing down and be done with it. Because the fact that he's crying, it has me wondering, is he crying for himself, or is he crying because he genuinely feels bad about what he's been doing and now he's going to change? Not that it makes him right. He should still go to jail and everything, but I wonder if he'll change his path. And maybe that was the point of restoring things, were to kind of set people on these different paths, to where like maybe he'll go and just shut that whole thing down. You don't know, but it always left me wondering that, because of how his character reacted when he woke up. He was so emotional about it. It just kind of makes me wonder, like, I wonder how he'll move forward now,
Yeah.
True. Good. Yeah.
Okay. My turn?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. Okay. For me, this movie was really long. So pacing, I don't know. I did zone out a couple times. I also don't do well when I go into movies blind, because I kind of like to know what I'm getting into. Otherwise, I get a little confused. And maybe in my zone out times, I did miss a couple things. So that didn't help. But by the end of it, I did really like it. I like that it dealt with like themes of mental health too. Yeah, I thought it was a cool story, and now that I've seen the whole thing and we're talking about it, I like it more. So I'm curious to see if I'm gonna like it even more if I do it on like a rewatch and like catch more stuff. I also added that I liked all the little references to like horror movies and books. Like there's like Stephen King's It was being read in the beginning, and they go to see Evil Dead, and I don't know, those were actually the only two that I caught, but I wanted to throw those in there. Yeah. I think the pacing was fine. I think it's a me problem with long movies.
Well, it's interesting too, because the director's cut is 21 minutes longer. So it's significantly longer. So it's but
Okay.
If you liked it and you want to rewatch it, it might be cool to check out the director's cut. Just to kind of get another take on it.
I probably will, but it'll be in maybe like a year.
Later. Yep.
Yeah. I want to rewatch the director's cut like now.
Hey, all right.
Just because I've never seen it, I am curious.
Yeah. Jamie says the book was The Destructors by Graham Greene.
Okay.
Thank you, Jamie. Favorite scenes? Anything that we haven't mentioned yet? What are some of your favorite scenes?
I wrote down 4 of them. I mean, the best one, my absolute favorite, is when Donnie arrives at school with the Head Over Heels song. It's just incredible. And I feel like it was kind of the catalyst for me becoming a huge Tears for Fears fan. When I heard that song, it was like a life-changing moment for me. But then also I love the assembly scene when Donnie, goes off on Patrick Swayze. The scene in the movie theater, because, we're movie people, so any scene in a movie theater is great. And then the sparkle motion performance, of course. It was epic.
Yeah. It's a Duran.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I've already said this, but the stabbing the mirror with the knife scene, then Frank's like distorted face and his glowing eye and all that stuff. I thought that was so cool. I love that scene. Sitting in the theater watching Evil Dead, which it's funny because originally they wanted the movie to be Chud that was playing on the screen, but they the people that own the rights to Chud wanted a lot of money for it, so the producers got a hold of the people that own the rights to the Evil Dead, and they were able to work out a deal that was more cost effective, and so they went with the Evil Dead. And then it was funny because Sam Raimi actually happened, because he lives in that area in California, he happened to be driving by and saw the sign for the theater that said now playing The Evil Dead, and he's like, what's going on here? So he actually stopped by and talked to the director and everything. So that was pretty cool,
Cool.
But I love that scene. And then let's see. And then also, the therapy sessions. The therapy sessions I really enjoyed too. I thought those were cool, especially when she's putting him in like a dream-like state, and he's telling her all these things that's going on and what he believes, and you can just tell, you can see the look of fear on the therapist's face, like, oh my God, what's going on? Like, the hell is this guy into? Because the whole time you're wondering, like, is this real or is he schizophrenic? Because he's on all these pills and all this stuff, and it's like, well, because the sister mentioned like that he stopped taking his pills. So the whole time you're kind of wondering, is this really happening, or is this like a schizophrenic hallucination kind of thing? So that's another thing I love about the movie, because it's kind of ambiguous in that way too. It could just all be in his head. And then I love the Mad World montage at the end when they start playing that song. And I already talked about that with Patrick Swayze, but just everybody waking up, and it's kind of like they remember, this horrible dream, past lives that they lived. I love that scene as well.
It is great. And I love when it shows Frank and like his drawings and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool. And
also how he's like touching his eye. Where he gets shot, he's like touching his eye, and then it like slowly pans down. And then you see, the bunny rabbit head, and everything. And yeah, it's great. And you got the candles and stuff too. It just looks so good, so well lit. Love it.
Yeah, I bet you threw out that fucking bunny outfit after that dream.
Yeah, that head was in the trash. See you later. He's like, I think I'll go as a pirate or something instead.
Way. And it makes it seem like he made his own costume because he was drawing it like that. So, which is pretty impressive, So you can just put it on a mannequin and just not wear it, but just be like, I made this.
And what's cool is that's actually, Maggie Gyllenhaal's character's, that's her boyfriend the whole time, and you find out, and then you actually see his red car at the very beginning of the movie taking off down the street as Donnie Darko's riding his bike, from where he woke up. That's his red car driving down the street. So he's in the movie the whole time. It's just, you're kind of getting little pieces here and there. Like when Maggie Gyllenhaal, comes back and she's like coming back and it's super late at night and everything, and the car takes off, and then you just hear the beep, 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 the honk, honk, like in the background. That's him too.
Yep.
Oh.
So smart. Okay. Little touches like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Looking for me for favorite scenes.
Favorite scenes.
I think there's a lot we already talked about. So like I like a lot of all Drew Barrymore's scenes with her teaching class. I like the Patrick Swayze love fear line, and I really like Donnie Darko's how he confronts the teacher about it. As confrontational as it was, I think it was funny, but it's a totally accurate. You can't just lump up love and fear as two just basic human emotions. I like the sit next to the boy you think is the cutest. The Smurf conversation I had, that was one of my jams. I like that. The confrontation between Donnie and Patrick Swayze's character as well at the assembly was good. I like that he calls him out, because as much as he's trying to spread love and be positivity, he is there just to get paid to say this speech. Like, it doesn't really affect him whether or not these fucking kids get help or not.
Yeah.
So I really like that. I forgot. I do have a line that I disliked.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm gonna backtrack.
Yeah.
It's really quick, and it's right at the end of the movie. It's the little boy says to Gretchen, "Did you know him?" When she asked who died.
Mm-hmm.
She clearly didn't know him. Like, she has to ask who this house is. Like, she doesn't know him.
Yeah,
Just this.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. It's just that one line, and it's honestly so minuscule. But I was like, this dumbass kid. Like,
I love it.
Funny.
But that's it. That's all my scenes. We've already talked about a lot of them.
I'll get into mine in just a sec. I'm behind a little bit here. The director's cut is way better, says Ramona.
Wow, a lot of
flowers.
fans of the director's cut here. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
The director's cut shows you parts of Roberta Sparrow's book, and it helps to understand what's going on. Okay.
Yeah, it kind of, once again, it kind of gives you more of it, explains more. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think for people that like that kind of, then it does, and then it also fleshes out some of the other characters a bit more and stuff. So, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Like, I wish there was more conversation with the science teacher, because I really like Donnie and him back and forth.
The one that ended up in bed with Drew Barrymore at the end. It's like, damn, they're a hot couple.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I liked him too.
I love that they're both teachers too.
Yeah.
Passionate about, teaching.
Welcome back, Oon.
Hello.
Hey, welcome back.
And Tiana's here. Hey, Tiana.
Hey, Tiana.
What's up, Tiana?
We are meeting up with Tiana in March.
Yep.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, 'cause you're both in Canada. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
That's okay. Better late than never. Okay. Caught up. So, favorite scenes for me. I liked all the family banter in the beginning, getting to know the family. I don't know. I really like the family. I like the parents. I like the sisters. I like the dinner scene. I think Jamie brought that up in the chat already. I also put down the sit next to the boy you think is the cutest scene. I have where Donnie and Gretchen are talking, and she's talking about her family, and he's like, I have emotional problems too. And she goes, he stabbed my mom 4 times in the chest. It's just so blunt. And I'm just, okay. So I thought that scene was all right. The therapy scenes too, when he's like talking about fucking and then he starts undoing his pants. I'm just like, oh my God. So I had to put that in there. I was not expecting that. And then before the performance, and they're like, if you're gonna vomit, swallow it. I was like, okay. And then another favorite scene I'll say is the twists, because for me these were new to me, right? So I'll go with the Frank, me finding out that Frank's alive and then getting shot and realizing that this is all like actually a time travel type thing, and like Donnie Darko at the end dying. I wasn't expecting that either. So as a newbie, I'll put those as my favorite scenes too. Do you guys have any least favorite scenes?
None that we haven't already talked about, but not really.
Yeah, one scene that it makes sense for the from his point of view, but it does it kind of irks me because it kind of he kind of falls into conformity at this point. But the teacher that's helping Donnie Darko, when he's like, "I'm sorry, but I can't discuss this with you any further, because I could lose my job and stuff." And it's like, dude, you've already gone like all the way now. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little too late to kind of cut loose from this or whatever. And it kind of goes back to the conformity thing, because it's like he's scared to lose his job, but like they're on to something. Like this kind of feels more important than that. It feels like discovery of something new. I get it from his point of view, but I just feel like if it was Drew Barrymore's character, she would have went there. She would have kept going with them. See, it's kind of interesting to me because they're dynamic. I feel like Drew Barrymore is more the free spirit, and she's like, all right, fuck this school. I'm out of here. Whatever. I don't need you guys. I'll go find another job. And he feels like he'll go there a little bit, but at the end of the day, he wants to hold on to his job. He's not gonna push too far. You know what I mean? And even when he wakes up from that dream too, you got to wonder, is he thinking to himself like, God, maybe I should explore that more, instead of, worrying so much about like whether I keep my job or not or something. I don't know. It just, that scene, I guess, just kind of bugged me, because I'm like, come on, dude, man, you're so close. Like, they're figuring this out together. So,
yeah.
I took that scene as soon because previously the God had never been brought into the equation, and then it kind of, as soon as God did get brought into the equation, he immediately shut the conversation down. Yep. It's never mentioned in this movie that this is a Catholic school or not, but like our Catholic schools here in Canada they all have to wear uniforms. So like I went to a public school, so I could wear whatever I wanted, but you went to a Catholic school, you had to wear uniforms, and these uniforms are very much of a Catholic sort of look from my experiences. I don't know do you guys have Catholic schools?
No, I agree. They do kind of look like that type of uniform, because I went to public school, so we got to wear whatever we wanted. But from what I've seen with like Catholic schools and those kind of, they all wear those same uniforms. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you're right, because it does kind of have that vibe, of like a religious type school, especially with the gym teacher talking about fear and love and this and that, and like just she seems like that type of person too, that's like all about God and this and that. But in reality, same thing that's why she loves Patrick Swayze's character so much, because he's pretending to be like this, like, oh well, help you become a better you, and I'll fix you, and just believe in the word, and all that kind of stuff. So it does feel like that. Yeah.
It's kind of interesting that Anthony and I have the same dynamic as you two, because I went to Catholic school from kindergarten through 5th grade, and then I went to public school. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you did you go to Catholic school your whole life?
Yeah.
Oh, actually?
Yeah. Till the end of high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just because I don't know why. I wasn't baptized or anything.
Loser.
My parents had to fight to get me into the school too, because they wanted me to get baptized, and my parents went to a church and was like, can we baptize them? And they're like, are you going to come to our church? And my mom said no. So they wouldn't baptize us. My mom straight up was like, I don't want to go to church. But she wanted me to go to the school. I don't know if it was because it was like, I don't know why she wanted me to go to that school.
The Catholic schools here in Canada are so much better educationally. Like, they offer more courses, they have more money brought to them. So I'm from like a small county that revolves around like 5 other small towns, and once the Catholic school opened up in this, like the center town, 2 other schools closed because all the students went to the Catholic school. So therefore, those 2 public schools were no longer needed because they offered more programs. They offered.
That's why they wanted me to go.
Sports.
Yeah, a lot of the kids on my street went to Catholic school too, so maybe they wanted me to go with them. I really don't know. I'll ask my mom. Yeah. But yes, I went to a Catholic school, but was not religious.
Yeah. Well, that's a good line of thought, though, because you're right. As soon as religion gets brought up, that's when the teacher backs out. 'Cause it's like, it's like he's afraid to go there now that religion's in it. It's not just like science anymore. It's religion's now been brought up. So
that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do love that about this movie, like mixing the science and the faith kind of thing. They do that in Prince of Darkness as well, where you have the science meets faith and all that, you know. So I really dig that, because even the way Donnie's describing it is like, oh, it's, you know, God and kind of guiding me, but it's also mixed with all this time travel stuff. So it's both worlds combined, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Prince of Darkness. Fuck, I gotta give that another rewatch. I haven't watched that since I was a kid on VHS.
I've never seen it.
Whew. Good effects.
Oh yeah. Really moody too. That's a super atmospheric film. You know, very moody.
Oh yeah.
Hey Ryan, thanks for being
Ryan?
here.
Ryan.
That arrow set is so nice for Donnie Darko.
Flex it again.
Thanks. Oh yeah.
There we go.
I love it.
You can still actually get these like online, like Orbit DVD and some of those other places. You can still get it with like the hard box and everything. I don't know if that costs a lot more to kind of import it over. I'm sure it does, which sucks, you know. But maybe you have something the equivalent like out in Canada that's kind of like an Orbit DVD or something like that.
And I still just have
like a place where you can buy physical media, like a boutique, like a third party kind of seller, like not Amazon or any of the big places, but like a place that runs their own store with physical media and everything.
They're usually pretty pricey too.
I
went. So get this. There's this movie store I like to go to, but they're so overpriced. This is tangent. Sorry. Like, what was the cost of, you guys like steelbooks? What was your cost of Alien Romulus 4K steelbook?
That steelbook, I didn't buy it just because it was so expensive, because it's Disney, you know. But that steelbook, I believe, was like 47, 48 bucks or something. It was pretty expensive.
I thought it was even more than that. I was thinking like
it may have been. It was expensive because it's Disney, you know. Like a lot of the other studios, their steelbooks are usually around 35, like that range. But if it's Disney, they're like, oh, hit them with the 50, you know, charge them $50. Yeah,
they're so greedy.
Guess how much it was at this third-party store?
Oh God, how much?
It's $150.
Oh my God, that's so ridiculous.
I was shocked.
My God.
Yeah. As soon as I pulled it out, I'm like, oh, that's pretty nice. Saw the price, but put it right back.
Well, yeah, because I've seen some of the movies that Tiana shows off, like in her videos and on Instagram, and it'll have like the price on them sometimes, and I'm like, good Lord, because I think she had to import them over. I'm like, oh my God, that's so ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Here for physical media.
Did you have least favorite scenes?
I got one.
Oh, okay.
And it's a nitpick. But I'm not gonna say what I said.
Is it the boy at the end again?
No, it's not the little boy at the end. It's Gretchen doesn't make it more than 10 minutes into the Evil Dead movie before falling asleep.
Oh gosh, yes.
Come on.
Hurt me too. And she was knocked out.
Yeah, she was out cold. I was so upset.
That's so funny.
Dude, Allie texted me immediately when that happened. She's like, I can't believe this girl fell asleep 10 minutes into the movie or whatever. So she had your exact same complaint.
They're just getting to the cabin. I'm like, girl, what the heck? Why'd you even go? Stay at home and sleep.
They paid $2 to see this movie, okay? It's ridiculous. Spent good money on that.
$2.
And then Donnie left for a while too.
I know. The disrespect to Sam Raimi is unbelievable.
Such a classic.
Yeah.
I didn't have any least favorite scenes, but our last category is the killer, which doesn't really apply. So we'll just kind of skip that category. This ain't no Jason movie.
I put Patrick Swayze for that because he is the villain, I guess, you know. And he's pretty evil. I mean, Patrick Swayze, he's pretty evil. I do love him as a villain in this. But especially it's really creepy because when you're watching that VHS tape of him giving like his motivational speech and all that, there's a scene where he's like, hugging the mom, and then he like goes to like hug the kid and he like pats him on the butt. And you're just like, oh, you nasty motherfucker. Like, you nasty. Oh. I was like, God, that makes that even more disturbing,
Yeah, that's why I don't like the cheerleading scene either.
Creepy, really.
Yeah,
creepy.
And how slow motion it is, and like Patrick Swayze like introduces them and like in such a weird way. Like he really gives them praise. Before they go on stage, and then it's slow-mo for the rest of it, and I'm like, I don't like this.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Kind of felt like that movie that had a lot of heat around it on Netflix, that Cuties, whatever. Remember, like, because it was like showing girls in like a sexual way or whatever. It got in like a ton of trouble. But it kind of reminded me of that. It's like where it's kind of like it's a little weird, but it makes sense because it's with Patrick Swayze's character. So I think it's kind of supposed to have like that creepy kind of feel to it, make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
they nailed it. They definitely nailed it. Yeah.
I think Gretchen was supposed to fall asleep so that Donnie could set Swayze's house on fire.
Yeah, we understand why. I'm just bitching.
Just chirping.
Yeah. But if Jamie can forgive it, because Jamie's a diehard Sam Raimi and Evil Dead fan. Yeah. So if she can forgive it, then it's all good.
Yeah.
But if Gretchen was awake, Donnie could have just been like, "Oh, I'll be right back," and then come back.
Right. Well, go get some popcorn for a long ass time.
It's like, oh, yeah, go to the bathroom and then do this,
I'm gonna go get some nachos.
Yeah, line was really
long. Final category is our scary rating. We rate our movies out of 10, 1 being not scary at all, 10 being the scariest movie you've ever seen. What would you rate this on a scary rating?
Probably a 1. It's very free, like Anthony said, but it's not like scary. But we're also very immune to it at this point. It's kind of scary. We watch so much horror, all of us. So
this is always a hard rating.
Yeah, we're super desensitized, and everything. It's like nothing even affects us. It's kind of scary. It's like, oh, somebody gets shot in the eye. Oh, whatever. That's just a Tuesday, whatever. But yeah, I put a 0 because same thing. Like it's eerie, it's creepy, it's unsettling, but it's not really like scary. Like ooh, I got you, like jump scares and like stuff like that. So I just put a 0. But it's definitely creepy and unsettling and eerie and all that stuff for sure. It's got that vibe going.
Yeah, I'll go with a 1 just for like everything Anthony said. I think it's pretty scary. I think the first time you see the bunny and you aren't expecting it to look like that, I bet you it could get somebody.
Yeah, I was gonna give it a 2 for the bunny's face alone.
Oh.
Its face is creepy.
Yeah. That's fair.
Rewatchability and would you recommend? I feel like I know your answers, but
definitely rewatchable because it's like you guys were saying, if you miss something the first time, it's like you'll catch things on a rewatch now that you know kind of more of what's going on. And it's just like a great movie. So definitely rewatchable. Would definitely recommend it. Everyone to see at least once,
Yeah, I put absolutely for sure. Yeah, same thing. It's like I feel like you get more out of it the more you watch it. Definitely.
Yeah. Yep. I totally agree with everybody.
I'm in the same boat. I actually while watching this movie, I wasn't sure if I would rewatch it, and now I'm like I want to. Because even you guys talking about things, like some of these things I missed, and I'm like, okay. So yeah, same. Jamie says I wouldn't call this movie scary, disturbing maybe, and then she says unsettling is a good description.
Yeah.
So final movie rating as a whole. Apologies, it is going to cover our faces, but this is our scale. A piece of poop being a 1 out of 5, and the 100 being 5 out of 5. If you're somewhere in between, like a 3.5 would be a high okay. So you can say a high okay or a low okay, or if you're somewhere in between. But what would you rate this movie?
I'd say like high thumbs up. It's like near perfect to me for sure. It's very good.
I go with 100. 100 for sure. That's me, because I mean, I love the movies. I do give it a 5 out of 5. So yeah, I go with 100. Perfect score.
Yeah, awesome.
There he is.
Nice. I'll go with the high thumbs up as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so like a 4.5.
I'm gonna go with a solid thumbs up. This morning it probably would have been an okay, but after seeing the twists and everything and the dark ending and talking about it more, yeah, I'm gonna go with a solid thumbs up.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely thought for sure Sam was going to come out of this movie being like, why did we watch that?
I'm not going to lie. The first half of the movie, I was having those feelings.
Yeah.
And that I was like, this isn't really my type of entertainment. And then by the end of it, I was like, oh, hot damn. And now talking about it more too, I'm like, I'm understanding things, words. Oh my God. I'm understanding it. And I'm like, okay, now it's starting to make sense to me. So yeah, I'll go a solid thumbs up.
Yep. And the next time you watch it for the people, you got to go with the director's cut, because this chat was heavily director's cut. And then maybe you could even give like maybe a year later or a few months later, you could kind of give like some more thoughts on it. Like maybe just do a quick, 10-minute video or something, just kind of update people.
We could do that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good idea for sure. It's alluring.
Ooh, very nice from flowers. I like that. Yeah.
And we got 100, and we got 100.
Yeah.
Lots of perfect scores. That's Donnie Darko.
We made it.
We did it. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us.
It was
really
fun.
Appreciate it. It's awesome. Yeah, I'd love to come back and talk about another movie. Maybe you guys choose and then we watch something. One of your picks. And
Okay.
give us something really cool. And that'd be fun.
I'm definitely down for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too.
Before we go, do you want to talk about your channel one last time? You guys can both talk about where people can find you.
Oh, go. Allie. Yeah, give them your letterbox for sure.
It should be the same as my handle on Instagram. It's just like my name, Allie Damati, which you can find that easily, because I think Jamie put it in the chat as well.
Yeah, she did. I'm gonna see if I can find it, but it's gonna be really far up here. Oh, there we go. Right there.
I think you can find me on that, just with like a space in between my name on Letterboxd. So
okay, perfect. And then
and you can find me on
Anthony.
Letterboxd under Anthony's Horror. Just all one word. And then on YouTube, Anthony's Horror and More. And like I said, I just did 2 videos recently: top 5 favorite films of 2024, and then my least favorite films of 2024, top 5.
Got the
thumbs up. yeah. And that was a fun video to make for sure, because it's kind of cool going back and being like, okay, these are the 5 films like I hated the most, like did not like these, and talk about what. But I don't just trash them. I talk about like why I didn't like them, and try to talk to the people and get them to understand like this is just why I didn't like them. But it's cool if you did. I mean, we all have different tastes. That's what makes it fun. And then same thing with my top 5 favorites of 2024. It's like, hey, they might not be your favorites, but I'd love to hear other people's lists and everything, see their lists, what they thought, because it gives me recommendations too. Like maybe I missed something.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you, Ryan, for putting the link in the chat, and thank you, Jamie, for putting Allie's link in the chat. And
thank you,
Ramona. You've gained a new subscriber.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone that tuned in and listened and chatted with us along the way. Thanks again to you guys for coming on. We'll definitely do it again.
Awesome.
But yeah, hope everyone has a good night.
Yep. Get ready for Monday.
Oh, shush. Why'd you do that? Yeah, Sunday
Have a great night, everybody.
Have a good night, guys.
You too.
Bye.